Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I would like to thank you for coming out. Welcome to our board meeting for August 13th, 2020. Ms. Boynton, would you please read for us, please?
Visitors are always welcome at our board meetings. Due to the passage of House Bill 197 and in response to the COVID-19 public health crisis, the Board of Education meeting will be available using Google Hangout as well as a public meeting. You may join by internet live stream, http://board.bedfordschools.org or Spectrum Cable TV, channel 1025. If you wish to speak during the audience participation portion of the agenda, please complete the audience participation card online at http hashtag colon hashtag no // participate.bedfordschools.org. Oral presentations are limited to 3 minutes each.
Thank you, Ms. Boynton. Thank you very much. Can I get a roll, Mr. Parkins?
Mrs. Boynton,
Here.
Mr. Kennedy,
Here.
Mrs. Patterson,
Present.
Mr. Tench,
Here.
Mr. Stevens.
Here. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Okay, thank you once again, and welcome to those who are joining in as well. That's online with us. Thank you for joining us as well. Looking at the agenda, as you know, please be patient with us today. We're going to go right into executive session as indicated on the agenda. So at this time, board, I would like to make a motion to go into executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of the public employee.
Second.
Okay, second by Mr. Tench to go into executive session. Please call the roll.
Mr. Stevens,
Aye.
Mr. Tench,
Aye.
Mrs. Patterson,
Aye.
Mr. Kennedy,
Aye.
Mrs. Boynton.
Aye.
Okay, motion passed 5-0 to go into executive session, and we're going to go into executive session at 6:03. We should be able to come back out. Just bear with us, but we'll be right back out. Thank you. I got to pull my computer back up. Die down. Thank you very much for your patience. I know it took a little bit longer than expected. We had a lot of dialogue that we need to take care of among ourselves, but thank you very much for your patience and time. We're coming out of executive session at 7:08. 7:08. And now we're back in general session, and we're going to the audience are there any presentations, awards, anything, Dr. Okay.
No, Mr. Stevens, there are none.
Okay. So with that being said, we're going to go down to item number 4, which is audience participation. And due to the number of comments that we have on green cards and including the online green cards or information that's coming online as well, we have quite a bit. So we're going to limit it because usually it's 3 minutes, but then it's within that half-hour time period. So I'm going to ask you to we're going to limit it to 2 minutes if possible. And those of you who are, I guess you could say, reiterating from some of the other comments, take that in consideration. I know you want to speak and be heard, but please bear with us. But we do want to take you in consideration and respect that you're going to come up and speak as well. We would like to hear that. So we're going to limit it to about 2 minutes, please. And our treasurer is going to give me a nod or give me something, let me know that time period is up. Okay? All right. Excuse me? Yeah. Okay. You good? Yeah.
Oh, you can do it. Yeah, he got the card. Yeah.
Okay, we have first card. Oh, I should have put it down, but there's so many. Okay, that's all right. We have Patty Taylor. And Miss Patty Taylor will just come up to the mic. And this information is regarding the layoffs and have insurance through Bedford City Schools, and we'll still be able to keep it and pay for the premium ourselves. Go right ahead. You have 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's my concern because I'm working and I get the insurance. And I know a lot of jobs, when you do get laid off, that they offer the COBRA, but COBRA is very expensive. And the insurance here, I think a lot of the people I've been talking to out there would say that they would be willing to pay for the school insurance out of their own pocket if they could be billed for that insurance. Does anybody have an answer for that?
We can look into it, and we will get back with you. Our superintendent will get back with you regarding that. We have your card and have your question, and Dr. Selleck will get back with you.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yes. James, take an online call right now, please. No, just take one of them right now, please.
Our first online submission was Denise Goodlett. Hi, Denise. This is James Meyer. You are now on with the Bedford Board of Education.
Oh, okay.
You have 2 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm live streaming it.
Okay, you want to turn down the live stream in the background, and then you can make your comments now.
Okay. Okay. Well, my question is, will we be fully paid through this layoff if we're laid off?
Thank you for your question. We're not sure how that, I honestly can't answer how unemployment works. If there is a layoff, you would apply for unemployment, and we of course would not contest that. So I'm not sure what percentage or how unemployment works, all the details of that. So I'm sorry, but we can certainly try to get you that information.
Fully paid through this layoff if we're laid off.
All right. Thank you, Denise.
Okay, we're going to go with Terrence Brown Senior regarding fall sports. Not here. Okay. Lori Lavin? Lavin? Please state your name and your address.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, ladies and gentlemen of the board. Lori Laffin, 318 Solon Road, Bedford. I'm here to talk about fall sports on behalf of the soccer team, and I think probably I'll speak for a number of parents. My son has played soccer for 12 years. He's a senior this year. As a matter of fact, his very first coach is sitting on your board. Soccer is very important to him. When I told him there was a meeting tonight, he went, yes. Does this mean they might consider sports? I think we've heard an awful lot from mental health professionals how important normalcy is. And I think we've also heard in the past how important sports is to students. It helps them personally, professionally, it helps their education, it helps them focus. We've taken so much from these kids, and I understand the reason why. I think this is something that if the proper protocols are followed, the kids should be fine. And seriously, you guys are following most of the protocols. This is something that's very important. Sam's a senior. He's looking at scholarships. He's looking at schools. We've already had ACT issues. I would like him to have the ability to play supervised with protocols and have the ability to have his final year count towards his potential future. I'm urging the board to take into consideration, as we've talked about how important the kids are, how important sports are to our kids. Look at your audience participation. You have kids from the soccer team, kids from the football team that I saw in the parking lot. They're here because this is so important. Yes, their health is important. We have the Ohio High School Athletic Association saying that kids can play. We have schools that are saying kids can play. I'm asking you to say that the kids can play. Thank you.
Thank you. Is it Ian Thomas? This is another sport-related question. Please state your name and address, please.
Good evening. My name is Ina Thomas. My address is 23025 Cannon Road, and she spoke so eloquently. I would just like to piggyback off of her and ask for you all to reconsider fall sports. My son is not a senior, but he's a football player, and we talked about this at the last session. I think the kids gave you a video. They showed a video, and it was very impressive. And I'm hoping that you will consider and give them an opportunity. So I'll just leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. James Stephen Hudson. sports related? Okay. Alan Fletcher, sports related. Please state your name and address. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. My name is Alan Fletcher, 6197 Whitetail Run. I want to speak specifically to fall sports. Dr. Selico.
How are you, Fletcher?
All right. My son plays football here at the Bedford High School, and he's a proud member of the team. I'm so very happy to say. Unfortunately, last year he transferred in from Benedictine, and he broke his leg week 3. It was a horrific injury, very painful, and a long process to get back. During that process, it was obviously we were stricken with this pandemic where now we're unfortunately able to not only attend school, but now a lot of things have been canceled. As we spoke earlier about normalcy, this thing has gone and there is no new normal. We're establishing a new normal. But with that being said, people are now finding a way to play ball sports. And if that is possible, I am pleading on behalf not only for my son, but all student athletes across the country, more specifically in the state of Ohio, and most specifically Bedford High School, that my son have an opportunity to play football. He is a recruit. He's been playing football since he was a child. He boxes. He's an athlete, very much like me, very much like his brother, both of which are scholarship athletes. And so with that being said, this is his opportunity, but it is the last of opportunities. In the event that we do not have fall sports, I don't know what the process will look like from a recruiting standpoint, and no one does for my son. And I'm not the only one that feels this way. So I want to ask and I want to plead. Obviously, we want the kids safe, and people are finding a way to keep kids safe and still have sports. I am desperately hoping that Bedford High School is one of these places. I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Fletcher. Thank you.
I have to say, Mr. Fletcher and I worked together. I was surprised to see you up here. I didn't know you were here. We worked together in Euclid for many, many years.
James, do we have any more online, please? Go right ahead.
Cheryl Chuli, to talk about the reduction in force.
Oh, she's here.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for letting me speak. I'm the union president for the local 136 classified staff. I'm speaking on behalf of our employees. The hardship it would be to be laid off, the hardship and the means of losing health insurance during this COVID, and the Cobra House insurance starts at $800 a month, and that is for part-time doers. That wouldn't even be covered by your unemployment. And also just filing for unemployment takes 5 to 6 weeks at this present time. It's supposed to be quicker, but it is lengthy to get a check in the mail. So I'm here. It's a very hardship for these people to be laid off. And I also want to know, was calling around to other school districts this week. Well, not this week, this last day, finding out how they were handling the situations too. A lot of them were putting their staff in other positions, cleaning, painting, maintenance, and such things like that. And I was hoping that we could do that and to more of our staff, because we need to keep them employed. We just need to keep them employed. Solon is taking on and delivering meals door to door. I know that's a lot, but that also serves purposes, because you might not see the students, but you put it there in their box that they want this, and you know that they're receiving the meals. You know that they're getting food instead of their mother couldn't make it to pick it up. Their babysitter didn't go pick up their food that day. That would be a lot better. And I was thinking that we could use employees for the community. Are we not going to do art projects? Are we not going to have art supplies for the kids? Can we not drop off supplies to the kids? Can we not pick up art projects to show on our walls, to have pictures on our web pages of kids' art projects at home? We're not going to do posters. We can't pick them up and bring them and put them on our walls and film them and put them on our web pages. These kids need not just computer learning, that's cutting and pasting and learning other things other than computer. And so, thank you. I know I'm probably running over 2 minutes, but there's a lot of things that I could discuss here. But I really feel the community supports us. We should go out and support the community. We should go out there and be part of the community and do things for the community at this time. And there are things that we could be doing. And I really hope in consideration that some of those ideas are thought about. Thank you.
Thank you very much. James, you have any more? Go ahead.
Next online submission was Ron Yarborough to talk about the reduction in force recommendations.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
My name is Ron Yarborough. I'm the Vice President of Local 136. The Bedford School District Administration announced to Local 136 intentions to recommend to the board members to approve a reduction in force this evening. The administration that in the effort to reduce the, and I call it bums, BUMS is the following ideas are offered as follows. Request that 136 waive the performing outside position description, Article 17 of the negotiated agreement. However, it was truthfully speaking, it's going to be hard to keep everyone busy. The bargaining unit members deserves a better and more of an effort to sustain their employment. Bargaining unit members are hard workers, loyal members of the district and surrounding districts as well. Most of the Bedford unit employees live right here in the district. Some are single moms, fathers, and living in a multi-generation home. These employees are expected to pay bills, put food on the table, and pay the rent and mortgage. Local 36 proposed the administrative board to do the following. As the other cities, Oakwood, Walton Hills, Bedford Heights, Bedford, to work at the community centers, police departments, fire departments, city hall, you get my drift. Utilize the proposed Bedford employees to fill positions such as custodians, security guards, nutrition specialists, transportation services, building assistants, and other personnel. This recommendation will supplement the loss of income. If some unemployment benefits don't arrive anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks, which means that the employees might receive their benefits somewhere around November or early December 2020, which means the members' release will not be available as they seek other jobs to support their families. Imagine the destruction of our families. Also,
Mr. Salt, if you could just wrap it up because your 2 minutes is up right now.
Thank you very much.
Please.
Bottom line is that this is a big impact, and most of the money that is paid to the benefits of these employees stay right here in this community. It's a full circle.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Next person from the online list is Trelene Heaton to talk about classified staff layoffs.
Good evening. Thank you for letting me speak tonight. My name is Trelene Heaton. I'm a head custodian at Heskett Middle School and also a secretary of Local 136. I ask you, please, you must reconsider the reduction of classified staff. Classified staff make up half, if not more, of the Bedford City School District employees. These employees have dedicated themselves to the Bedford City School District, dedicated to the everyday responsibilities that excels this district to what it is to its communities. They take pride in their everyday achievements at work. I fear this layoff will affect the district in the loss of many good employees when we return to a normal school environment. I ask for you to consider possibly utilizing these employees as the others have in other areas of the district or even the community. We are in this together, and more than ever now, we must come together and be supportive of each other. We need to take care of each other also. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. At this time, I have a green card here. Charles Salters, please, regarding fall sports.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Charles Salter, 2816 Southmoreland. I serve as the head football coach here, so there's probably no secret as to why I'm speaking to you right now. I'm going to be honest. I'm concerned with fall sports being suspended right now. I've got a couple of things that I'd like to speak to, and one of the things is that we've been practicing all summer, and we've been following all the protocols that we can possibly follow to ensure the safety of our young men. Board, I know that you're in a tough spot, and it's a tough decision that you guys have to make here tonight. And there's a lot of people who would say that they don't envy you, but I'm on the flip side. I do envy you, because the decision that you make tonight will affect the lives of so many. To me, this is beyond wins and losses. I'm concerned with the mentality of our boys right now, not only with the football team, but with a lot of the fall sports here. I'm concerned with the relationships that we've had to build over the year to the point where they finally started to trust us. With everything that our student athletes, especially our football players, have gone through in the past year and a half, which is much more than the average football players had to go through. We're finally at a point where we've built relationships with these kids. We're finally at a point now to where they trust us. And with the trauma that they've received in the past year and a half, this is even more traumatic in my mind. Because now they always had football to turn to ease those types of tensions, and now we're taking those things away from them. And I'm concerned with the list of student athletes that we have, my staff and I that's here with me tonight, of certain players that we talk to every single day, because we know that they're coming from not the best place when they come to football practice. Some of these players need to see my face every day. They need to see these men's face every day. They need to hear our voice every day, not because for me to tell them where to go for zone right, but for me to tell them, hey, listen, it's going to be okay. We're always here for you. Let's talk about your future. Let's talk about things that are going on in your personal life. And now they don't have that right now. That's what I'm concerned about. And I'll be honest with you. I know that, was that my two minutes right there? Well, good. I'll end with this. I know that athletics are very important to you, Mr. Tench, Mr. Kennedy. I know that you guys are baseball people. Mr. Patterson, I know that you were track official. Mr. Stevens, you're like the king of ADs in Cleveland, Ohio. If anytime I wear something Bedford out, they're like, hey, you got Phil over there on the board? And I'll say yes, and they'll tell me some story that I may or may not have time to hear. But nevertheless, I know that you guys care about sports. And so I'm just really asking that you please reconsider. Do we really want the best stadium in the state of Ohio to be dark on Friday nights? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach.
Our last online submission was from Colleen Wilburn.
Hello?
Hi, Colleen.
Yes.
You are now live with the Bedford Board of Education. You have 2 minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm actually driving. I didn't know that I apologize. I can't do that right now.
That is fine. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
James, what was her topic? Okay.
So was that the last caller? Okay. Okay, we have is it Tawana Baker, fall sport.
Hi, hello, how are you? How
Hello.
you guys doing? I'm Tawana Baker, 549 Northfield Road. I have a son who's a junior this year starting, and he's been playing football since he was 5. And he's been in the district since kindergarten. And he has not only loved the game since he was 5, but he loves Bedford High School football. He loves the game. It's an outlet. All his friends, if you take away the sports of the outlet they have in order to keep their mentality together, they already are confined to the fact of not being able to do the things they're normally used to doing. But taking sports away, that's a lot for them to take in. We're talking about their future. We're talking about their social life, talking about everything. I mean, it matters to them, so it matters to us as parents. Also, as the coach following up with him, it matters to them as well. But if there is any way today that you guys can come up with agreeing to the fact of allowing them to continue to practice, they haven't had any issues so far. And I'm sure the guidelines that you guys will set in motion, we can continue on with them and support them. And I'm sure every parent will back that up, and we can all be in agreement with that, or whatever you throw at us to take on. But just find some way, some common ground, and just let the kids have it because they really want it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Baker. Thank you. Okay. Malik Baker.
Hey, how you doing today? My name is Malik
Fine.
Baker.
Thank you.
I want to say the same thing as like Coach Salter said. We've been working hard all summer. We've been trying to follow the procedures that y'all been giving us. And for y'all to take that away, you know, that kind of hurts because what else do we have? We want to sit in the house all day. We like to play football. We like to play the sport that we love. So ask y'all nicely, can y'all bring that sport back to us? That's all I have to say.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Kayla Gazzo. Okay. Ayana Hunter regarding fall activities.
Hi, Araminta Hunter, 366 Kenyon
Excuse me,
Avenue.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. It's a lifetime of that, but it's fine. I've had five kids, 3 of which graduated. I'm very well versed on the scholarship level. My daughter just graduated in 2019 with a scholarship to University of Cincinnati. So I have a son that's going in his senior year, and I have another one that's going in his sophomore year, my last one. So it's like the light at the end of the tunnel. But bam, a train, COVID-19. All I'm asking is for them to get the opportunity to play. As a parent, I can only say what I can do, which is I will commit to you that my kids, if there's something wrong with them, that I keep them home. And I will say to you, just the ladies that I know of will do the same. I would hope that everyone will be able to say that as a parent, that they will commit to make sure that there's a safe season, because at the end of the day, we don't want to see anyone sick. We just want them to play. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe that is it on the community audience participation. Ms. Gazzo.
Kayla, it's her daughter.
Oh,
She's on the
okay,
bench.
okay.
It's not a good way to start your summer, Kayla, or to be in summer.
Volleyball.
Oh, boy.
So today I'm here speaking on behalf of Marion Davis, our 2021 class president, and also agree with everything he's saying. So I have a paragraph from him. He says, "Good evening, Mr. President, Madam Vice President, Superintendent Dr. Soko, and board members. I wanted to come here today and ask that you to reevaluate your decision or allow for the continuation of fall sports. As many of you have heard multiple times, the seniors need this year. I'm here to tell you why. Out of all the classes that have stepped into this district, this class is the most successful and college bound. We have also overcome obstacle over obstacle throughout our years. We need this season because it's time to show colleges what we're made of. And not having fall sports hurts our chances of scholarships. And as most of you know, scholarships help out this community. So I ask of you to think about your mission statement, inspiring everyone every day to achieve excellence. Having this season not only inspires us, but will make us go 10 times harder. Thank you so much for your time. And to further go along that, so I can say what I want to say. Me being a senior personally, it's hard, to hear, we're not going to have fall sports because, yes, I did this, but I can still come back up. I still want to have this season, especially for volleyball. I know a lot is about football and everything, but all fall sports, all extracurriculars, even school. I want to be in school, but I know the chances we're taking. But even with sports, we can have sanitation things and everything, but I feel like we need sports for scholarships, especially some people that don't have academics. We need this right now. Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Thank you. Yes, Ms. Patterson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to see how many parents we have here today. If you're a parent, would you please stand? Thank you. Now I'm going to ask the question. I hope you'll be honest. Out of 56% of the parents that sent in their surveys, 56% of you said that you would not send your child to school. If you were part of that 56%, would you please sit? So everybody standing wanted their children to come to school. Am I correct? Okay, thank you. That's what I needed to see.
Thank you. Well, I tell you, all the comments meant a great deal. We really do want to appreciate, and I can speak for the board as well. We really do appreciate the sincerity, and I know there's been a lot of parents and coaches speaking on behalf of the student athletes, and that matters a great deal. So thank you very much, and also the representatives of the classified staff. Thank you very much for showing your interest and just speaking your concerns on your behalf. Thank you, and we will take all of these things in consideration. Okay. We're going to move right along. We do not have any other audience participation, but we do have the resolution here that we item number 5, that is item number 5 on the board agenda. And board members, can I get a motion, please?
So move.
Okay.
Resolution one?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. I move for the 7.01, the resolution.
No, we're here.
Excuse me, 5.01. The resolution in pursuit of Article
24.
24. Need a second?
Okay, Ms. Patterson, she motioned. Can I get a second, please? Second. Questions or comments? Mr. Tench?
I know that Dr. Selico had something to read. Should she read that first, or?
Is this different for me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Stevens. Good evening, board. Good evening to all of our visitors and staff here today. Thank you for your comments. Appreciate the passion and certainly can understand it. So again, we appreciate you being here. I would like to make a statement, and I will be upfront and tell you that I prepared some remarks for this evening because it's not something that I take lightly, and nor would I want to try to even come up with words, because it took a lot of thoughts to really come up with what I'd like to say today regarding the layoffs. of our OPSI staff in the 5.01 resolution asking, making that recommendation to execute layoffs. So with that said, it is with a heavy heart that I recommend to you this evening the resolution to start the temporary layoff process. And I emphasize the word temporary because we don't intend this layoff to span longer than we are out of school. So I want to emphasize that. So the process of some of our classified staff. I know the board and I both struggled with this decision as we care for and value our employees. That is what makes decisions such as these so difficult. The pandemic has taken its toll on so many, and it appears the end is not going to come soon enough. With that said, I would like to take a moment to ensure the board of a few things prior to voting and to explain our rationale to the public. First, we have over 200 classified employees, many of whose jobs are to serve our students, and without our students here, frankly, it is close to impossible to keep all of them working. Therefore, we will do everything in our power to continue to work with the union as we have, to creatively find work for as many employees as we can find things for. We also will look at creative ways to maintain people, and in terms of, Cheryl has expressed some ideas. I know I had asked them to be creative, and I appreciate the conversation with Cheryl and Ron, as well as Albert, and just trying to be as creative as we could and find ways to keep people employed. We will explore as many options as we can, including incentives for employees, in order to reduce the total number of layoffs that we will be faced with. I've spoken to all the supervisors and have asked them to create lists of work that can be done as long as employees are willing to do things that are not in their job descriptions, as I believe Ron had mentioned this evening. And with that, I believe we have the support of the union leadership as long as the responsibilities are in line with the person's skill sets, which is a very fair request. Secondly, while I don't have a crystal ball, and I can only hope that our students and staff will be able to return safely in 9 weeks, I just don't believe that's going to happen. However, I pray that I am wrong, and this is one of the times I'll be glad to be wrong, and that our students and full staff will be walking our halls again in 9 weeks. Board, as I mentioned to you many times, there's no shortage of tough decisions to make, and this is no exception. I want to say to Cheryl and to Ron and to all the members that are here before you, on your behalf, I think Cheryl, you know, Traylene, we'll do everything we can to work together as early as tomorrow and Monday to brainstorm and hit the books again and sharpen our pencils and try to get that number as low as we can. We've got some ideas and would like to share those and keep you throughout this process, step by step with us so that we can work together. And again, this comes with it's a very hard decision. Thank you.
Any further questions? Go ahead, Mr. Tinch. Thank you, Mr. Stevens. I think everybody out there in OPSI knows that I'm retired from OPSI, and I can tell you, having been involved in 16 years, a handful of reduction procedures, it's probably the hardest thing we have to do as board members. This is a unique situation, all right? I've been laid off when I was a member of OPSI. And the one thing I did learn about it was that I took it personal. I took it like they didn't want me, that I wasn't good enough, that I wasn't doing the job. And I did. I took that was hard. I got called back, but I took that personal, you know? And if you take anything out of this meeting tonight, I want you to take out that this is not personal. This is such a unique situation. This isn't based on a levy failing. This isn't based on mismanagement of funds. This is something that was totally out of our control, totally out of the taxpayers' control, which run this district. And, you know, we've got wonderful employees. And what is best about that is they're smart. You know, our employees are smart. They know where we stand on this. They know how difficult it is when you don't have children in the buildings, and your job depend on children in the buildings. What are you going to do? I know there's been some suggestions working in other cities, and that being union people, you know, that brings up issues with the other unions in the other cities.
You know, it's a great idea. We're thinking outside the box, and that's what we have to do. And trust me when I tell you, this administration, this board has spent so many hours trying to figure, not just with OPSI members, but the teachers, students. This is incredible, the time that has been spent trying to make this work for everybody, knowing that the end game, it's not going to work for everybody. It goes for sports as well. You know, it's not easy, but that's all right. It's not supposed to be easy. We're here to make those tough decisions. We're not just here to hand out diplomas on graduation day. So, you know, and Dr. Selico said it more than once. This is temporary. You know, you're not going to be called back based on if a levy passes in 6 months or next year. You know, that we're hopefully there's going to be an end game to this, maybe sooner than later. We don't know. We're dealing with so many unknowns here, and that's what makes it even more difficult. So I want you, for me personally, lifelong resident and OPSI member, don't take it personal. We're doing our best. Dr. Selico is going to meet with your union representatives tomorrow or Monday at the earliest and discuss some alternatives. Definitely thinking out of the box, stuff that would not be even discussed if this was a regular reduction in force, if it was based solely on economics and a lack of a levy or whatever. These wouldn't even be investigated, wouldn't even be brought up. But I think everybody, and she mentioned it too, that the union representatives on your side and the teachers and everybody, they understand this is unique. And it's going to take a collaborative effort on everybody's part. And as employees, your part is to understand that this is not anything personal. And we so appreciate all the work that you all have done. We're going to try to do the best we can to save as many jobs as we can. I wish I could say we're going to save all of them. And we're going to try. But please, when you leave here tonight, know that you're appreciated, that this is temporary. If you do happen to get laid off, you will be called back. We don't want to lose anybody. That was our main concern. We didn't want to lose any employee because of this. The unique thing is that every other district in Cuyahoga County is faced with the same problems. Okay? So hang in there the best you can, and we're going to do the best we can as a board and an administration to keep as many people as we can. And I hope you find solace in that to some extent. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tench. Okay, we have any other questions? Go ahead, Mr. Kennedy.
Yeah, I'm not going to be long-winded like Tim, because he said basically everything that I would say to all of you. I respect immensely the jobs you do. You guys, to me, and this is my opinion, are the backbone of this district. You know, you're the people that nobody sees, but you're the reason that this district moves. You know, and again, I'm a big sports analogy guy. I equate all of you like the catcher. It's a thankless job. And I'm not saying you're a thankless job, but the pitcher gets all the accolades and the catcher gets nothing. But we do our jobs, and I mean that in the utmost respect, because I was a catcher, all right? But I respect every single one of you. I know a lot of you, and again, like Tim said, it is a difficult decision, trust me. But I told Dr. Selico and the board that they have to do everything they can to be creative within our means to get to make this as less painful as possible. But I wanted to let you know my feelings. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, they've really wrapped everything up in a nutshell, and they spoke on behalf of the board. I'm not going to reiterate those comments, but definitely we all feel the same way. We all feel the same way, and you guys wrapped it up real well. Thank you very much. Okay, we have a motion and a second on the table. Y'all have to call the question. So please call the roll.
Mrs. Patterson.
Aye.
Mr. Tench.
Aye.
Mrs. Boynton.
Aye.
Mr. Kennedy.
Aye.
Mr. Stevens.
Aye. Motion passed 5-0. Thank you, Board. Moving right along down to 5.02. We have the second reading and approval of the updated and new board policy. Can I get a motion, please?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Tench, second by Ms. Boynton. Questions, comments on 5.02? If none, please call the roll.
Mr. Tench.
Aye.
Mrs. Boynton.
Aye.
Mr. Kennedy.
Aye.
Mrs. Patterson.
Aye.
Mr. Stevens.
Aye. Thank you, Board. Motion passed 5-0. Okay, Board, consent items in number 6, agenda item 6.01. You had a chance to read the consent agenda. So whatever changes was needed, it should have been made. Or if you have any additional questions, feel free to do so. If not, can I get a motion to approve 6.01?
So move.
Okay.
Second.
Second by Mr. Tench. Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Patterson, second by Mr. Tench. Questions, comments? None? Okay, please call the roll.
Mrs. Patterson.
Aye.
Mr. Tench.
Aye.
Mrs. Boynton.
Aye.
Mr. Kennedy.
Aye.
Mr. Stevens.
Aye. Motion passed 5-0. Thank you, Board. Okay, down to item 7. Superintendent recommendations as presented by the business manager.
Mr. Stevens, I'll take that. I forgot Mr. Zagrebek isn't here. We are asking for approval of 7.01 resolution authorizing the private sale of the property, and that is Aurora School. So some good news that we do have this evening is that we have an agreement for the sale of Aurora School.
Dr. Pellico, Mr. Zagrebek is not there in person, but he is there virtually.
That's a good thing. Okay, board members, can I get a motion to approve resolution authorizing the private sale of the property, which is Aurora Schools, please?
So move.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Patterson, second by Ms. Boynton. Questions, comments? None, please call the roll.
Mrs. Patterson.
Aye.
Mrs. Boynton.
Aye.
Mr. Tench.
Aye.
Mr. Kennedy.
Aye.
Mr. Stevens.
Aye. Motion passed 5-0. Thank you, Board.
President, can you hear me?
Okay, we're down to our superintendent's report.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Sullivan.
Thank you, Mr. Stevens. I think we know that this has been a difficult evening, and I do want to say on all accounts here, it's a difficult time for all of us. It's a difficult time to be a superintendent. It's a difficult time to be a board member. I often think every day that's tough and it's hard going into work. It could be worse. I could be the governor or the president in times like this. But it's hard enough at this level, and the lives that are being impacted and the decisions that are being made, and none of them are taken lightly. I am in constant communication with the board. We are continuing to talk about sports. We continue to have conversations about staff and about the changes and how we are going to provide a quality education for our students, and doing so virtually, which is not ideal for any of us. We're very saddened that we cannot have our students in front of us, and we just look forward to the day that can happen. We just don't have a crystal ball. So we are continuing to plan. You will get for those of you who are listening, the parent plan will be released tomorrow to help you prepare for the school year. We will send that in your emails, and we'll also have it posted on the website. And for staff, we've received our letters and preparing ourselves and what that will mean when we return to school. So again, I appreciate the board and the difficulty that you have before you. And though I didn't say it, and I know every board member here did, I think you all know how I feel about you as our backbone of the district, and how hard you work, and sometimes that you feel your work goes unnoticed, but I can tell you it doesn't. So thank you to everyone who's been here tonight. And again, we have some difficult decisions ahead, but we will continue to talk about them. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Selico. Any last comments from the board before we adjourn? Or anyone from the cabinet? Okay, well, that's the end of our meeting. So can I get a motion to adjourn, please?
So move.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Tench, second by Mr. Kennedy to adjourn.
Mr. Tench,
Aye.
Mr. Kennedy,
Aye.
Mrs. Patterson,
Aye.
Mrs. Boynton,
Aye.
Mr. Stevens.
Aye. We are adjourning at 7:58. Thank you.